From Brazil, São Paulo, direct to Berlin. Yeah.
Yeah. Then take me back to that moment, Letícia. Why did you move? You were born in Brazil. You grew up there, and what happened?
Actually, like was pandemic, COVID, like now looks like a long time ago. But I remember I was working at a bank there for more than 7 years. And then COVID time, I was working alone in my apartment, like 16 hours a day, and like was really, really hard because in Brazil, before pandemic, we were not working this remote style where everyone was going to the office. And then imagine a company, 90,000 employees, and then you need to prepare everything for people to be able to work from home. And I was part of the people team and was a lot of work, not only like providing a laptop for people, but like taking care of them, and supporting everyone was a lot of work. And was almost burning out, I will say. And then that time I said, okay, I think I need to do something different from my life. Like I really like the company. Was a really I used to have a really good career opportunities there. I was growing and everything, but for me it was more like this is not what I want for the rest of my life. I think if I want to do something, change something, it's now or never, because age and the moment I was in my career and everything. And then I
But
start to
change job,
yeah.
or take a holiday. But it's
Yeah, but
yeah.
I think I was, but then like since I was a teenager, I used to have like this wish to live abroad. But like it's not so easy as people here in Europe. So we are in Brazil. It's not so common to travel around. Like when we are at university, there is no programs as the Erasmus here in Europe. So things are more difficult. There is the language barrier as well. Like in Brazil, I think only 5% of the population are able to speak English and just 1% fluent. So it's really a big thing. So you need to probably you need to be rich if you want to live abroad, right? And then, but on this moment, I just said, but then I was not with the plan to live abroad. I was just considering something different need to happen here in my life. And then I was working remote, 100% remote. And then I just had the idea to go to a different country. I used to have some friends, like I have some friends here in Berlin. And then I said, okay, I can work from everywhere. I'm working remote. No one will like notice I'm not in the office or wherever. And then I talked with like my manager. And I remember I had like 1 month of vacation days in Brazil. And then I said, hey, I think I will travel and then I will work remote for 2 months. And then I will take 1 month for vacation. And then I will be in Europe for this time because in Brazil, we are able to come to Europe and stay here for 90 days without applying for a visa. You can be as a tourist and everything. And this is what I did. I came to Berlin, like the countries were starting to open their borders after the time, after all the problems we had with COVID. And then I came to Berlin during summer 2021. And then was like, okay, I spent here 3 months. And then I started to connect with people and talk and check how is the work environment. And then, like, as I said, I was working in a bank, big company. And then I was really open to go to the tech companies, like more fast-paced environment and try like myself in a different work environment. And then I said, Berlin should be a good option because there are a lot of startups here. I'm not fluent in German. Like, I don't know nothing in German. I'm not able to speak this language, but like, I can communicate myself in English and everything. So, and this
Hey,
is how the idea came.
you're part of the 5%. You said only 5% speak English. So
Yeah,
in
but it was
Brazil.
hard
So
for
you,
me. But it was really hard for me in the beginning, because I was able. I did some private classes in Brazil, but I was not fluent like at work. I traveled a lot. I was watching a lot of TV shows in English and everything, and then I would I was able to talk about daily life, but never ever I had an experience to work every day in
right?
English. One meeting
Yeah,
here, one presentation there, and that's all. In the beginning was really hard because then I decided to move. I came back to Brazil. I applied for the visa. And then I remember there was this visa, the job seeking visa for qualified works. Now it's a little bit different here in Germany. It's a year. The timeline of the visa you can take for a year, but in that time it was 6 months, and then you can stay in the country looking for a job. So, and this
hmm
is how I moved to Germany. And then, like, I moved in January 2022, and then February the war started, and then all the jobs and all the process I was like, they were sending me a message, hey, we decide to not hire you anymore, we will wait and everything. And then things starts to be a little bit
yeah.
chaotic.
I want to know more about that. That's actually can't imagine moving for a job, let alone the whole process, the visa, finding an apartment, which is difficult enough. Then and then getting that message from the employer saying they changed their mind
Mhm.
because of the war. But let's go back, Letitia, about something you said earlier. Is that you always had this um, passion or need to travel? You always wanted to travel. It's usually the people that have been exposed to international environment, like one, for example, had family abroad and they came to visit, and then they start speaking English with the family. And how what happened that you wanted to have this, you had this passion to travel?
For me, I think it was more organic, I would say. I didn't have anyone in my family who did it. Like, my brother was the first one. And I remember I'm the old daughter, right? And then I have a young brother. And I remember, like, he just moved to Italy. And I was one of those who was supporting him and say, hey, like, you should do this. Because I think it's more seeing friends. And when you start to go to university and then you start to work, you will start to have more connections and your world, like, your mind open a little bit or a lot. And then you see all the possibilities that you have, right? And this is how things start to, and this is how I started to think about why not. And I remember I was studying French during university. And then I started to think about, hey, really want to go to France to do this language exchange course. I want to stay there for, I don't know, one year at least. But then things didn't work. And then when this happened for my brother, because he was studying at university as well, and then we had a program from the government that you were able to go to a different country to study, and then the government sponsor your stay
hmm
there. Then I was super saying to my brother, hey, you need to go. It's a really nice opportunity for you and everything. And then he went. But this was like 2012 was. And I moved to Germany 10 years later. So yeah, it was a big gap here. Yeah.
I guess when you spoke to him after the move, even if it's like a couple of years later, I'm sure he said, oh, it's the best thing that happened to me. I love
Yeah.
it here. It's worth it. Did you, before you moved, did you speak to him about, or during when he moved, when you had regular contact, did that trigger something in you? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would,
of course.
yeah.
And then like when he moved was only for 2 years because he went to Italy for university as well, right, for his master's. But because it was a government program, he needed to come back to Brazil and finish his university there as well. And then, like, after 2 years, he was back. But this was like 2014, end of the year. But of course, it was a really big experience, and he was sharing how it was important for him, like how he grows, for his growth, and for like when he moved, he was super introvert, and then he needed to face a lot of challenge. And when he was back, he was more extrovert, and this helped him a lot with, building connections with people,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and I
understand.
think was a
So
really was good for, of course, masters and everything, but on the other hand, this social part was really important for him. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so let's take even a step further back, actually. How did you tell your family and your friends you've decided to move? Must have been difficult conversation because Brazil is how many hours flight? They can't
13,
just come for a weekend.
it's like São Paulo to Berlin is like 16 hours because there is no direct flight, but Europe can be like 13 if you are flying from São Paulo to Lisbon. Like, but it was a really easy conversation. Like when I came the first time for 3 months, I told them, hey, I'm working remote. I just want to see how it is. I didn't have a plan to move, definitely. It was just like, I'm going there. I want to see how it is. I will not have this opportunity again. Like, and that's all. And then I was working remote from the company I was working before in Brazil. And then I stayed here for 3 months. And here, when I was here, I decided, hey, this is what I will do. This is what I want. And this is. And then when I was back to Brazil, I just had a conversation with them. I said, hey, like I was there for 3 months, and I think this is something that I really want to do. And I think will be important for myself as a person, and will be really important for my career. I think I will develop things that in Brazil I will not be able to develop. I really want to experience like this international work environment and see how it is. And will be really hard for me to have this experience in Brazil. And I want to try living abroad and build myself again from scratch because this is how it is. Like, it's really hard to continue your life. You need to start everything from the scratch again. And this is my feeling. And when I say everything, it's everything. Like, you don't have friends, you don't have job, you don't know how is the health system in the country that we are, and this is and I don't regret anything. And then I told my parents first, right? And then they were super supportive as always, and they said like, if that's what you want, like we are with you. And I planned myself, right? Like I used to have like I was financially stable, like everything was working really well for me. And I told them, like, I'm not taking this decision because I don't like my life here. Honestly, my life there was really good. Like, I didn't have a reason, like, a big issue or anything. I was not running away from nothing. I was just trying to have a different experience. And in like, my feeling was, I know it will be really important for me to take this step. And then afterwards, I talked with my friends at work that I was like, I needed to talk with my manager as well, right? But it was an easy conversation because I was not happy there. My manager was not happy with me as well because, like, she knew that I was not 100% focused at work anymore. And then was like just an agreement, like, it's not working for me, it's not working for you. So let's make things easy here. And this is how it was. But I remember like having some conversations, people, oh, what a courage, right? To change everything. Why you are doing this? Like, whoa, yeah, I'm proud. I don't know if I will do the same. And then I said, why they are saying like I have courage, like in the beginning, I think I subestimate a little bit everything that was part of this move. And they were right. It was really, really hard.
So it does take a lot of courage, because there's a lot of this factor of unknown. You don't know what to expect. You don't know if it will work out. So most people are scared of that. So what was it for you? I guess what really helped you, and that's actually a smart move what you did, Letitia, is that you kept your job. You did remote work, and then you went to Berlin first. You worked there for a period of time. How did that work out with the time difference? That's actually just came up to my mind. And you then checked first, hey, do I like it? Do I not like Berlin? Can I picture myself living here?
Yeah.
And then, you remove that factor of unknown that helped you decide, right?
Yeah, exactly. This was super important. And the other thing that for me was when I had this conversation with my parents, and then I was, okay, I know it will be hard and everything. The only thing my father told me was like, hey, you just need to have a plan on your mind if things like the don't work, like what you will do, right? Because the good thing is you can change your mind, right? It's not a decision for your entire life. Like it's something that if you think like it's not making sense, you can come back and you will have everything again here. Like nothing is forever in this case. And this is what I had in my mind. And I said, okay, I will give me 2 years. If things start to be really, really hard, I will come back. And this is what something that I kept on my mind, right? When things
They give you a
start
little
to
bit
be
of comfort. They give you a little bit of
exactly.
comfort, yeah. Okay.
Because it's okay to change your mind. Like
Yeah.
I tried and it didn't work. So of course there is the frustration, right? But at least you tried. But imagine living your life with this feeling that why I didn't do this, like why I didn't move, why I didn't try. I think for me now I can say I will regret more, but this was something that totally helped me, like during this
Yeah.
process. But and having a plan, because you cannot try, like financially, I cannot stay here forever, not having a job, like it's not something that I can do it. But I had this plan and I planned myself, I organized myself for this time. And this is how it was.
When did you realize I want to stay in Berlin? Because you went there for a few months doing your
3
home
months, yeah.
office, or 3 months. But what was the reason you decided? When was the moment you decided you want to stay and move to Berlin?
Yeah, I started to talk with some friends, some of them Brazilians, and they did the same as I was planning, the same move, right? They moved from Brazil to Germany.
Where did you
Uh,
find them?
like friends of friends,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew some people that was living here, and then there are a big community, a Brazilian community in Berlin, especially in tech companies.
Right.
Um, and and then you start to talk to people, hey, I'm there. And then, I know someone, it would be great for you to talk with this person, with that person. And then, but the most important was like feeling connected with the city and the freedom. I think Berlin can be, some people don't like Berlin, but for me was like, I fell in love with the city. It's a really international, people from everywhere. And was summertime. I think if it was during the winter, I will not take this.
Yeah,
I will not,
Brazilians in winter it doesn't work.
yeah. Actually, I don't like the heat. I'm
Oh,
Brazilian.
really?
Yeah, I'm the one who is, oh my God, it's super warm. And the heat here is different from the from the one in Brazil. There is more
Yeah.
humid, and here is like super dry, and you feel like the heat here. When it's 25 degrees here, I like melting. In Brazil, 25 degrees, it's totally fine. And then like enjoying the city and like going out, public transportation, working, and then like, and the feeling of freedom was something that was really important for me. I said, okay, I see myself here, and I can be myself. I can like, it will be nice.
But
And
you didn't feel free in Brazil.
mm,
Like you had this inner voice to leave. You said because you want to try something new, you want to develop your personality.
mhm.
Um, but
Mm,
what was it? Did you not feel free?
I think like some Brazil. First of all, it's a really conservative country. I'm from São Paulo. It's a totally different world. It's a 22 million people, right? So people don't care so much about you there. But like São Paulo, it's really complicated. You have like traffic jam. If you want to go somewhere, you need to plan in advance, and you need hours, right, to go. If you want to cross the city is like 2 hours at least, and you need a car. Public transportation there, it's really like it's not the same as here. We have, but I can tell you, for me, it was a privilege to be able to use public transportation to go to work in Brazil, in São Paulo at least. But it's not the the population reality. It's not for everyone. It's super crowded. Depends on the time. And I was working a lot, like from I used to leave my home 7 a.m. and then back at 9 p.m.
I
Not
did
like,
hear that Brazil, they used to working long hours
yeah,
and
we
sometimes weekends and
exactly.
yeah, a lot of work.
And the thing is, and there is the commuting time. So 1 hour and a
Yeah,
half to go to work, it's a lot. Uh,
right.
and then the security as well. Like, of course, when you are there, you learn how to survive. Like, you know how to protect yourself. Of course, I had bad experience, but nothing really, oh my God, I almost die, or it's not like this, but you are there,
Yeah,
you try to survive, but you have some things like you cannot use your phone on street, like you can use, but you need to be careful, depends on where you are. Uh, and this
understand.
is, yeah, here is different. You don't need to be always like looking like around and see if everything is fine, if you are safe enough. Of course, depends on the time. We are in a big city and you need to protect yourself as well, but it's not the same as is there, especially being a woman.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, like, and here people are, you feel people are chill. At work, people are chill as well. It's different. People know how to
yeah,
enjoy life. You have free time. You prioritize your family time. And it's different, your work life, it's your work life and it's separate for your personal life. Things are not super connect. When you are done, you are done. You can leave work and there is nothing to care about afterwards. And that's it.
how did
Like I
how
don't have one thing that in Brazil, we used to have these WhatsApp groups with people from work. Here, I'm
yeah,
not allowed to, like, you can have it. And some people I know, they use it, but it's not common.
yeah, yeah. So you're free from the system, free
Yeah,
from that circle, that never-ending circle, going to work, going home, going to work, going home, long commute hours. You just get like you can't get out of it. So
exactly.
you, yeah. How long
You
did
live
it
to
prepare
work.
you? Yeah, yeah. You live to work, but how long? How did you manage to get out? And how long did it prepare you to get out? Because there's a lot of people I talk to. They say, "Oh, from the moment I just thought of moving, and the moment I moved, 2 years have passed, 3 years have passed." Um, but when you're in that circle, it's so difficult to break out. So what was for you, or are you just a doer? Your personality is like, I want this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
Yeah,
ignore everything else.
this is my personality, and this is how I handle with things. Like if I want something, I will do it, and I and then I start to be so focused on get things done that I start not to consider what is happening around.
Mhm.
It's tricky sometimes, but it's the way it's working, right?
Yeah,
But the,
absolutely.
but of course, like I I think the decision was not something that I was like, I want to do this now and then done. But it was a process, right? Like I'm not happy. I don't feel that this is what I want to do for my life anymore. Uh, okay, I will go there for 3 months and let's see. And then when I was here, I started to talk and connect with people. And then I think it was 6 months, like until I really
Mhm.
decided to move. And then when I decided to move, then I just moved. Like I just,
Okay, break it down for me. Break it down for me, Leticia. So first is you
I
came to
was
the
like,
realization you want
yeah, I was
to
not
get out
happy.
of this.
I
Yeah.
was not happy. COVID started. And
Hmm.
then I was working 16 hours in my
Yeah.
apartment alone, not seeing people and like just working. And then I said, yeah, like honestly, I cannot handle with this anymore. And 3, 4 months afterwards, I decided to come to Berlin. This was June 2021 when I came to Berlin, but I was not able to travel direct to Germany. Then I went to Serbia. I stayed there in Belgrade for 14 days for the quarantine, and then I was able to take the flight and come to Berlin.
Okay.
Then I stayed here for 3 months. So end of September, I was flying back to Brazil. And then September, I realized, okay, I will stay. I will move to Germany. Definitely. This is
Yeah.
something that I want to do. And I think Berlin is the place to be and I will be fine there. And then I went to Brazil and then I had this conversation at work and then we found an agreement there. What else? I applied for the visa and then keep the apartment, started to sell everything that I had, like the furnitures and everything. And then January 2022, I moved definitely to
Yeah.
Berlin. Yeah.
No, super interesting.
Yeah.
And big respect for doing that all by yourself. And for me, it was in Europe. It's like easy from the UK to Ireland to
Yeah. Yeah.
Germany and back. It's easy. They're all really the same. Um, Different but same. And but from Brazil to Berlin to Germany is like completely different continents, different lives, and no, so it's really interesting what you said also when you had those conversations with your family. And I guess what you just said also, you already lived by yourself in an
Mm-hmm.
apartment. I
Yeah.
think also it helped them when you said you want to do another step, you want to move out. But it's different, I guess, when someone lives with her parents or his parents. And then the parents get quite attached. Then the conversations get really difficult. But I think you did well. You took it step by step. You move first to an apartment, and then you move out.
Yeah,
And
of course. And we need to be independent, right? Because if you
yeah,
depend on your parents, like money, of course,
yeah,
like they
yeah,
will decide. It's not your decision. You can share your wishes and
yeah,
they can, but in the end, they will decide, right? If they will
exactly,
support you or not. But this was not
exactly,
my condition. And then
exactly.
like the decision was done. I just needed their
Yeah,
like approval and blessing, I would say. And that's it. Yeah.
super interesting. Letitia, so I got a rapid fire for you.
Hmm.
As a 5 questions, and
Okay.
you can only answer them in one sentence. Take your time. You can take your time, but make
Okay.
sure you only answer them in one sentence.
One sentence. Okay. It's
Um,
not just one
yeah,
word. So easy.
One sentence, yeah. So, what's the biggest thing you had to sacrifice when you moved to Berlin?
Being far away from my family and friends.
That's always the biggest topic of everyone. Then the second question is, what was the biggest culture shock you had in Germany or in Berlin?
Like here, we have rules and people respect the rules because we have rules in Brazil and we don't respect the rules.
Egypt, neither do Egyptians. So,
Yeah, but this was a big shock for me. Like seeing, like I said, okay, this is working. Like I cannot do this, and then was a big, big shock.
sorry, this is like a side question, but did you have to, um, did you try to bend some rules or test? I mean, you don't have to say here, but for example, in Germany, they have rules. You have to recycle 5 or 10 bins nowadays. And you try to, I'm not going to do this and that because in Brazil, people bend the rules. Um, was that your mindset first and now you follow the rules?
Like since I was in Brazil, I used to be the person who followed the rules, was always on
Right. Okay.
time. I was not late. So for me, it was, but it's something is sometimes in Brazil, we try to get things done. It's not that we break the rules, but we are more flexible. Like it's not, like, it's okay to be late, right? No one will complain. If I don't go to this meeting, it's fine. No one will notice. And here people notice. I think it's more like I was not trying to break the rules, but I was bringing this flexibility sometimes. And then I just realized it's not acceptable sometimes. Like at work, I can give an example. Here, when people accept the invitation for a meeting, means that they are going to a meeting. They will be in the meeting. And in Brazil, no, you receive the meeting, you can accept, and then if you don't go, it's fine. Like no one is like, if the person really needs you in the meeting, they will ask you, like, hey, I really need you in this meeting. Can you join? And then you say, yeah, no, I will be there. And then it's one thing. But here is different. And the calendars are super updated always. You can check if it's free, you can book the meeting with the person and the person will be in the meeting if the person accepts. And I remember there was a recurring meeting, the company I was working, and then I accepted this, and then I was on vacation, and then I didn't decline because I was on vacation, like, and then afterwards, my manager just asked me, please, next time, decline or add something in your calendar to show that you are not working because people need to know. And I said, okay, but I was on vacation and everyone knew about it. Like, but I said, okay. But then I understood, and this was
Yeah.
something that for me
Yeah.
was okay, understood.
Yeah.
It's serious. It's really serious. This commitment, it's really serious. Okay.
Yeah. No, great example, Letícia. I guess it could be worse. It was just that, but it could be, for me, it was, I just couldn't get my head around driving in Switzerland. It's one of the countries with the most speed cameras. Like every 2 miles is like a speed camera somewhere. And my first 3 months, I got flashed twice or 3 times. It's like there's no leeway of negotiating or hiding. The camera got you. The camera got you. And okay, this is how it works. It's just one of the examples. You try to navigate your way around it the way
Yeah.
you used to, but it doesn't really work. You then accept this is the system. It is what it is. And the same with you. The calendar is like a holy thing. People are not flexible around the calendar. So
And saying this looks like something, this is not so serious, but people can really be pissed off with you. You can have trouble at work, people can feel like
yeah,
you are not reliable. And this was a shock for me, honestly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. super interesting. I know we sidetracked a little bit, but I was just super
It's okay.
interested on that.
Okay.
And the third question: what are the main differences about living in Brazil and Germany? For example, in Australia, they're known for having their barbecues, they barbecue all the time. What's in Brazil like to have a weekend? And
But
what's the difference?
just in one, it will be hard. And this, I need more, I need to explain a little bit more because there are a lot. I think the weather, it's something that it's really different. And here people plan their schedule considering the weather. In Brazil, we don't have this. Like if it's raining today, it's fine because like tomorrow will be sunny. So I don't need to plan anything, right? Like I don't need to plan the weekend. Like sometimes people just invite me for something. Let's see each other. Yeah, let's do it. And then when? Like next month. Like in Brazil, we are more spontaneous, but I think this is because of the weather conditions. To be honest, people are more used to prepare everything because of this. This is for me a big difference. And the other one is like this work-life balance. I remember when I used to live super close the office, like 2 minutes walking distance. And then in the beginning was really hard, like what I will do with my time after work, because I didn't have this there when I was in Brazil. Like as I told you, 9 p.m. was the time I was arriving Rome, and then I didn't have time to do anything. I just eat something super fast, watching television, and that's all. But here, like I left work 5:30, 5:35. I was at home, and what I will do now? Hey,
What do I do with my life now?
okay, I will eat. I can watch TV, but then I need a lot of things to watch on television, and it's like,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of time. I normally go to bed like around 11:30 midnight. So, and then
Yeah.
I needed to be used to live my life during this time. Like, okay, I can go to the gym, I can meet friends, I can clean my house, I can go to the supermarket, or I can do a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I think this time, this free time, I was not used to.
Yeah. But that's why you came to Berlin in the first place. But you didn't notice how it felt when it actually happened.
Exactly.
And yeah. And we're like, oh, the day is actually longer than expected,
And summer for me super overwhelming because the day, like
Yeah.
now it's 10 p.m. and there is light outside, right? And then I have this feeling that I need to do a lot of things because it's like it's not night yet, because at night for me it's like to sleep. And
Yeah.
now I'm super active. I like to do sports and seeing people and meeting friends. And then the end of the day, I'm super tired. Yeah,
Mm. And in Brazil, like you said, there's always you're working constantly, and you're in that circle, and the culture there is a working culture. And on the weekend, you said that there's not much planning. You just go on a weekend. What was it like a typical weekend then? What do you do on weekends? Do you go to the beach? Do you do a barbecue as well, or what
I
is it?
would love to go to the beach more often. Like I'm from São Paulo. There is no beach there, but it's close. You can go by car and it's an hour, but the traffic jam make things really hard. But
Right.
a typical weekend, go to a park, do sports, and then meeting friends, barbecue for sure, football as well, right? Like we,
Of course. Thank you,
yeah.
by the way. Thank you for the football culture.
Yeah, and like I really like football. I grew up in a family that was super the people, my family, they are super connected with football, and we used to live super close the Palmeiras stadium. Palmeiras is the team I support in Brazil, and like Wednesday and Sundays normally is football day, right? And then you do barbecue and watch the football with your family or friends. Go to the stadium. So this is how it is. Like, but and then like São Paulo is a big city and then you have everything available 24 hours a day. If you want to go to restaurants like in the middle of the night, you can do it. You will find everything open. You have supermarket open, everything. So
Yeah.
it's and this is something that I miss a little bit because here like people like supermarket is not open on Sundays. So you cannot go to the supermarket on Sundays.
How annoying is that? Like, I know it's a religious thing also, but also, they want to give people a break. But also in Switzerland, Sundays, everything is shut. And you remind me of Paula. I spoke to her in some episodes before. She's also from Brazil, and she moved to Slovenia. At least you are in Berlin. She moved to Slovenia, and it's like a small village.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
definitely nothing going on.
No, nothing for me. Like small village is not for me. I'm a big city person.
Yeah. She was more in nature, I must say. She loved the nature. So you
Okay.
cannot have it both. But she reminded me, she also said she misses you can get the call the delivery, food comes in 1:00 at night, 2:00, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think it's annoying for me. Like I'm used to it. Like now, in the beginning was a little bit because I was not used to. Then I didn't plan myself to go to the supermarket like during the week or Saturday and everything. But now I'm used to it. And if I want to go shopping, I know it's like during the week or Saturday. And then I plan my week considering this now. Uh, but sometimes it's like, I really want to eat a burger. Of course, in Berlin you will find a burger place, but not the one that you want to have the burger, right? Like, but you will find something. You will find food.
Yeah.
But I respect, to be honest, and I think it's really important for people to rest. We don't need to be super crazy about things. I remember in the beginning, for me, it was a cultural shock as well because I went to a place, they were making some advertisements on social media about, I don't know, something that it was a cafe and they had this quiche like available, the quiche of the week. And then I remember I went there around lunchtime and they didn't have any more, it was sold out. And then and this is happening here all the time. And I said, come on, like, why people don't do more? Like, but this is their pace, this is their life. And
Yeah.
now I'm more used to it. But in the beginning, I was a little bit pissed to be like,
Yeah.
why are you doing advertisement if you cannot offer this for the customers, right? Like, stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now I'm used to it. I said, okay, let's see if if it's sold out, it's fine. I will try to find another thing.
But I must say, you're also a bit spoiled now because Berlin is different to the entire Germany. I'm sure you heard this also from other people. Funny enough, I lived in Germany 17 years and I only been to Berlin 3 times. Because it's so far from where I grew up near Frankfurt,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when I went, I was like, whoa, this is not Germany. It's completely different in a positive way. A lot of crazy people. The vibe there, the buildings, the restaurants, so much of everything. And a lot of people speak English, international vibes. And it was really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I know
And
you
this
said some
is,
people don't like Berlin, but I really enjoyed it, actually.
yeah. And for me, imagine I'm from São Paulo, as I told, 22 million people. It's really chaotic, like super noisy and like traffic jam and a lot of people crowded, everything. Moving to a totally different environment, no makes sense. Like I like the chaos and sometimes I
Yeah.
need this. Yeah, I cannot be like, I love nature, but for me, it's like a weekend or a week. It's
Yeah.
holiday or vacations and it's fine. But I really like to be
Yeah.
in big
You will get
cities.
bored.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
exactly.
will get bored as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Letitia, we're still in the rapid fire. I mean, the one sentence answer has not worked because I'm actually also asking more questions because it's super interesting. But I've got 2 more questions for you. What is the number one thing that you have discovered about yourself after moving? And the question is because now you spend more time by yourself, and when you're, in my opinion, when you're by yourself a lot, you then notice about your things that you didn't know before. So, what was it?
Hmm. I need to think because I discovered so many things,
Yeah.
but it's more, I think I can say I'm a flexible person and I can handle pretty well with changes. Like, it's not something that bothered me at all. Uh, and I think I have this flexibility. And this is something that was not super clear for me when I moved.
Um, can you make an example?
Yeah, like as I told you, when I moved to Berlin, I came with this, the job seeking visa. And then
Yeah.
I was able to be here for 6 months looking for a job. And if I didn't find a job, I need to come back to Brazil. And then I moved in January, February, things changed because the war with Ukraine and all this financial energy crisis. And then I said, okay, I don't think I will find a job like in this was like March, beginning of April. I said, I will not find a job. And then I said, okay, what I will do now? Then I applied for a MBA program. And then I needed to apply for the student visa and everything. And then I need to change everything from again, and what is the plan now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did it everything by myself. Like all and it's really hard in especially in 2022 with the war and everything was really hard to find a termin an appointment in the
Yeah.
immigration office, and I did everything by myself. Like was really stressful. Sometimes I had some nightmares that people were ringing the bell to send me back to Brazil because my visa was expired and then I didn't have like the appointment and everything. But I did. Like done.
Yeah. You come across as a very strong personality. Not, I would say, analytical, problem-solving personality. And if something happens to you or problem comes to you, you less show emotions. You go, no, okay, how can I solve this kind of problem? Is that who you are?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
No, for don't have time for drama. If we need to do something, let's do it. And I will just like there's no break until things are done.
Okay. Okay. And sometimes when I speak to other guests, to say because they had so many brothers, they grew up with four brothers, and they had to, or when they start working in an environment where they had to be more, uh, to become more dominant, to prove themselves. And did you have like something like that that made you this kind of person, or is it just who you are from the beginning, or you
I'm
know?
trying to find this like doing therapy now, okay? Because like
Okay,
I have this independent personality. I don't like to ask for help. If I'm not feeling okay, I'm not the one who will share with people my problems. I'm always trying to show people that everything is fine. And I'm trying to change this a little bit because it's really demanding and like I feel tired
exhausting.
sometimes, exhausting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is the right word.
Okay.
Um, but I think it's the way I grow up. Like I'm not part of a big family, but I'm the older daughter, so I have another
Okay.
brother. But I think I learned to do the things for me and be independent. And this is something that my father always told, hey, you need to be independent, you need to do things by yourself, like you need to study, focus on your career and everything. And I think this is maybe one
Yeah.
reason, but I don't have the answer. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to
Maybe.
to find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next time we sit together, you know the root cause or the root of this. But I
But it's
don't
part of
see
being
it.
Brazilian as well. I think
Yeah.
Brazilian people normally have this mindset to focus on the good things and like let's make things work and being flexible. I think it's part of the culture because there are so many things there happening. It's really hard sometimes, and people try to keep the optimism and focus on like make things work and make things happen. And maybe this is a reason as well.
Look, so far I have only met 2 Brazilian people, you and Paula, and you both have a strong personality. So maybe it's a Brazilian thing.
Yeah, maybe. I think it is.
Yeah, no, so nice. Okay, so final question. If you could give yourself if you could give your younger self advice before moving, what would you say? And at the same time, if someone wants to move from Brazil to Germany or to Berlin specifically, because you said you have a community there and you speak to each other, and so what advice do you have for that person?
Okay, I think for uh, the advice, it's always like don't think too much, just do it. Because if you wait until everything is perfect to move, will be really hard. So you just need to do it, no matter what. But of course, uh, you need a plan, right? And you need to be accountable about your decision. It's your decision in the end, and especially for women. And I had a lot of conversations after I move and everything because a lot of women are in the same position, and part of them like move because the husband received a job offer, and then they decide to move and everything, and then they say, "Yeah, I moved because of him," and I say, "No, you move because you want to, right? It's your decision as well. You need to change this, otherwise, it will be really hard for you to." To find yourself here as well.
Yeah,
So you need to be accountable for your decision. Like I'm just giving an example because it's common, but there are other we could like there are different reasons because people decide to move. But what I'm saying is like it's your plan, it's your life. You need to be accountable for this. Otherwise, it will be really hard for you to keep the engagement and the optimism. And if it's you just share the responsibility with others or you don't take this for you, this is one
yeah,
thing. But some advices that I think it's important and sometimes we don't consider when we are doing this is like invest time in connect with people, talk with people, understand experience, and try to understand the real life. Because we have like this American dream, European dream that you move because we see so many stories of people that they move and then now they are rich and everything went super fine. They have the dream job and everything, but this is not the reality of like 90% of people. It's a really hard thing to do.
yeah,
So you need to be prepared for the time that things are not going the way you were expecting. But talk with people, it's important, and focus on networking, it's important as well if you are moving for work, for work reason, right? I
yeah,
think this is the what I can recommend because I see a lot of people thinking it's easy, right? Like, I will find a job. Do you think I can find a job in 1 month? Like, honestly, I don't think so. You can do it, right? We have some examples, but this is not the reality. Like, you need time. You need to consider like when I move, like I need to handle with the war and the energy crisis. But some people had problems with COVID, other with like different things. And every time something it's gonna happen, right? It's not
yeah,
that because I'm special and then the war just started because I was here. No, like things is gonna happen. You need to be prepared. And that's it.
yeah. Two things you said was really standing out to me. The be be accountable, hold yourself accountable, because happened to me as well before. I lived in the UK for a long time, and then in between I was 6 months in Germany for a job, so I moved. But I took the job, but also knowingly that, for example, my brother didn't like the UK, and he didn't really enjoy it there. So I was like, okay, let's try it. I'm going to take the job, and my brother can move with me. And then my mom came as well. My dad has a job in the UK. So it was me, my brother, and my mom. I also had another brother, but he was working in the UK. He was happy. But I thought, you know what, let's try something. Let's see if I can move back to Germany. And I did not like that job. I did not enjoy it. I come home. I was so bitter. I was so negative, and then I was like, I came here because you guys didn't like the UK. I only took this job for you. So that's why when you said hold yourself accountable, I can also imagine a couple that is moving from Brazil or from wherever to Berlin or wherever. And if you gave the example of the wife is only moving because of the husband or the boyfriend, but when it doesn't work out and the wife doesn't like it, what's going to happen? Oh, I'm here because of you. I can't find a job. I don't like it here. And it just creates problems. So you have to have two people deciding together that you want to move together.
Yeah, and you need to think, right? What is like, what it, what exactly can happen there? Like, in one example, like I'm able to speak the language. Like maybe I need to plan at like 6 months. I will focus on learn the language to be able to try to find a job, or I will study there. You need to have your own purpose why you are moving. Like you cannot just say, I am here because of him or because of my parents, or just because. And there is that, I didn't like my life in Brazil. Like your problems will come with you. Like, please don't run away of anything because it's impossible, you know? And this is why I
Yeah.
think it's important. You need to really have this on your mind when you are thinking about this, because this can change everything. When you hold when you bring the responsibility to you, things are totally different. I can say it, yes.
Yeah.
Because for me, this was the thing. Like when things start to be really hard, the purpose was so clear for me that make me didn't like I didn't give up. I said, no, I'm here for this reason and I will make it work. So I just need to be patient. I'm doing everything that I can do. And like this is gonna work.
Mm.
But I need to wait. It's not my time, right? And yeah, and here I am. So I'm happy. I don't regret. If you ask, you do it again? Yeah, for sure. Why not? So, and I'm always the one who is telling people, hey, do it. Because sometimes people want to talk and say, yeah, but I'm waiting because I need a job, or I will move, but I will continue working from the company I was working. And then let's see. And I said, man, stop to think and move. You know, when you are like, because when you are in the country, it's different, right? The conversation is different. If you are looking for a job, you are already here. The companies will not be worried how will be your if you will adapt or not in this new place, you know, it's totally different. And I remember and this is something that I didn't share, I remember when I was applying for the visa to move to Germany. I was in Brazil, and then I just received an offer to work in another company, a really nice company in Brazil. And then they did the offer, and I didn't accept the offer because I said, if I want to live the life there, no, makes sense to work from a company in Brazil. And they were super open, like, no, you can live there, you can work from there, you can do your time. It's totally fine. You can.
Wow.
But I said, no, I will not
That was
accept
the
because,
easy way.
yeah, but I said no, because if I do this, I will not live the life that I want to live there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and this was really important. And I think this is what people need to understand. Like, you cannot wait for the perfect time, perfect job, perfect condition. Otherwise, you will not do it.
And it was even harder for you because you had the job offer. You had a good job before. You were comfortable, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
in my opinion, it's easier for someone that is struggling, doesn't have a stable job, and doesn't, struggling to move forward, career-wise, for example, or personally, and then make that change. Say, okay, no, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to move abroad. I'm going to try something new. I think, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but it might be easier rather than leaving a good company, high paid job. You're comfortable, you have your apartment, you have your friends, you have everything you need. Why would you make your life so difficult by leaving everything behind?
Yeah. This is the 1 million question, right?
And you said it's worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, but of course, I don't think people need to do this, right? But if you want, why not? Like, you need to risk. There is no, like, okay, I was comfortable there, but staying there was risk for me as well, because I was not happy living the life that I was living there. So everything you are choosing things, and things can work and things cannot work. And I remember once I had a mentor, and she said to me, like, whenever you need to decide for something, you should considering, like, in worst case scenario, where I will feel more comfortable. You need to consider that, because you are choosing, right? Considering everything, if I'm here or if I'm there, if things are not working, where I will feel better, because then will be easy for you to take the decision. And I
Yeah,
use this like for everything in my life. So if I need to decide for something, I consider the worst case scenario, and then I think this is where I will feel better if things are not working.
that's great advice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So for the last part of the podcast, I'm interested to hear about Berlin.
Okay, I just drink
So
water. Just
yeah, sure. Drink.
okay.
I'm super interested to get some insights about Berlin, because for anyone that's watching and want to move to Berlin, in the past, when I looked into it, it used to be so cheap to buy an apartment there, to find an apartment. It was so cheap compared to other places in Germany. There wasn't so many startups, technology companies, and other businesses. Um, Now, from what I hear from people that I know in Berlin, is super difficult to buy, to rent, to find anything. And do you have give us some tips and tricks? So for anyone that's watching, wanting to move to Berlin, what can that person do to find a place, to find a job? What's a day to day like? What, just like some insights that can help the individual to picture, okay, would I like to live there? What would I need to do?
I think in the beginning, my recommendation is, like, don't be picky. You will not find the best apartment. You will not find the best job. Like, try to open your mind and go for things, like, because it's really hard, like, now, to find an apartment can be really complex. uh, but you need to start to consider what it's most important for you, and that's it. Maybe you will live far away from the city center, because everything is about connection. If you know people here, then someone is moving, and then you can take the apartment and everything. But for the beginning, when you don't know people, you don't know the city, and you don't know how it works, don't be picky. Go for what you have, and then you will find your way during your stay. I say, like, for me, this is the most important advice. And yes, Berlin is not Berlin anymore. Like things are not here. Like restaurants are expensive as well. Same for like apartments, rent. If you go to the supermarket, it's more expensive. Like I've been living here for 4 years and a half, and I'm spending like at least 35% more in supermarket than I was spending when I moved. So uh, uh, it's unfortunately, but it is what it is, right? Like, there is nothing that we
Yeah.
can change. So be prepared for this, and if and of course, if you have the opportunity, like there is other options. Like if you don't have money problem, if you are okay, if you can spend money, you can rent a temporary apartment. It's fine and it's easy for you. Um, so, but I think like not being picky is the best one.
Okay. So just take what you can, and then take your time, and then find. You can then look for another apartment. Do you have also in Berlin? Because we have that in Switzerland. People swap a lot. Some people want to upsize. They want to have a bigger, and then you find someone that wants to
Yes,
downsize.
yes, yes, exactly. And like I'm in an apartment now, and a friend of mine was living here, and then she moved, and then she sublet the apartment for me. So like this is what I'm saying. Like
Right.
everything is about connection. So, but and for if you ask for was hard for you, no, it was not hard for me. But I cannot say to people, hey, no, it's super easy to find an apartment in Berlin. No, it's not. Like
Take some effort.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I have some friends, and they decide, okay, I will live not in Berlin. I will go to like somewhere around, right? And
Yeah.
in the beginning, it is you need to, and it's the same for job. When I accept the job offer was for a position that was not the same position I was working in Brazil. And but this is what I had.
Another example of being flexible.
Exactly. And you should be, if you are doing this, you need to be open. Because if you want everything perfect, like the best apartment in the best neighborhood with the best price, the best job, it's not going to work. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What's like a 1-bedroom apartment? Like how much would it cost in Berlin?
Depends. But if it's in the city center, like with the bedroom, living room, kitchen, and one bathroom, I would say 1.2K
Okay.
in the city center. Yes.
Okay. So if it's outside the city center, my guess would be 900
Yeah,
to 1,200.
exactly. In Berlin, we have like the
Okay.
ring. It's where like if you see the map, people will understand why it's the ring, but it's like a circle, and everything that's out, it's more affordable.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the center of it? What's the circle center? Because Berlin is so big, which I, by the way, didn't know when I went for the first time. I never walked so much in my life because I didn't know I should just jump on the the trains and an Uber or whatever. I was walking so much.
Yeah.
But like, what is actually the center of the circle that you're saying?
Yeah, like we have like the neighborhood is Mitte, so it's the center of the city. But the good thing about
Yeah.
Berlin is like you don't need to go to the city center to do things, to go shopping or whatever, because the way the city is structured, each neighborhood has your own center, your own city
That's
center.
why
So
I asked the question. Yeah,
yeah,
because I don't know what is really
exactly.
so many shopping malls, shops, restaurants,
No,
wherever
and
you
it's
go.
not, and Berlin is not
Yeah,
the same as the other European capitals where you have like the city center
yeah,
and people can walk in. There is no cars like in the city center. No, this is not how Berlin it is. And it's, so people are spread in the city. And the thing is, when you live in the neighborhood you live, normally is where you do everything. It's where you go uh, to the supermarket, shopping, hospitals, the school, everything. So you don't need to move, and this makes your life easy. So this is
Yeah.
really different for me, and I think it's really nice. And this is what sometimes you stay in your neighborhood and you don't explore other areas because you have everything there. You have restaurants, you have everything.
Yeah. It's and each area has its own vibe.
Exactly.
And the own culture and the own neighborhood. You know, if you like a city that's crazy like that in a positive way, a lot of culture, a lot of people speak English. It's an international, a lot of tech companies there, startups, and I think still cheaper than a lot of other cities in Germany. I
In
think
Germany and
compared to
in Europe, like
Frankfurt, Munich.
if you
Yeah,
compare with Paris, it's cheaper as well,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
but yeah, like exactly, I agree.
yeah.
But it's not the
Do
same. Like because I think 10 years ago was totally different, right? Now
yeah.
it's a different city. Yes.
Yeah, I remember 10 years ago, I was 13 years ago, I was working in Apple in Ireland, and Torsten, my friend in my team, he was from Berlin, and he was like, oh, I'm thinking to buy an apartment in Berlin. And then we looked together, we found an apartment for 30,000, 40,000. And I was like, oh, I don't know, man, it's expensive. And he was like, oh, but I think it will go up in price. And I don't know if he ever bought one, but now the same apartment is like 150, 200,000, 250,000. It's like, damn it, I should have bought some properties.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of people are rich here because of this. Yeah.
yeah. Same with Bitcoin, but hey,
Yeah.
you're always smarter after. You're always smarter after.
Exactly.
Cool. Letícia, we are towards the end of the interview, and the podcast is super, super, super interesting and helpful. And thanks for the insights. I have just one final question for you. Is Berlin your forever home, or do you still have in your mind, I'm going to stay here until I'm not happy anymore and I'm going to go to somewhere else?
Yeah. I don't think I will stay here forever. Like I don't know for how long I will stay here. Like I think at least for more, I don't know, 3 years at least. But I think after everything I did, I can move to everywhere else. But
Yeah,
like I really want, like when I retired or something like this, I want to be back to Brazil. Yeah.
yeah. Back to your roots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the plan, but everything can change, right?
So for anyone listening, be flexible. If you love traveling, if you love moving, don't just stay in one place forever. Stay as long as you're happy, and if you're not happy anymore, you can move. It always comes back to in my first episode. Kay, his name is Kay. He moved from the UK to Thailand, and he always said, "We are not trees. We're not meant to be in one place."
Totally agree.
Although it's nice to go back to your roots when you're older and you want to retire, the journey there is just, find somewhere, a place that makes you happy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, Letícia. Appreciate it. I wish you all the best in your journey. And like I said, maybe in part 2, you are in a different country and we
Let's see.
can have another session.
Yeah. Thank you. And I wish you all the best.
All the best to
But it
you.
was a really nice conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.